Hello everyone, Tony here bringing you a Digimon deck profile video. I know I've been away for a little bit. I have gone back to work and life has been kind of busy, but I will be trying to upload every now and then. I can't promise any numbers, but um for the most part I'm back. So I apologize for my time away. Now let's get into this video. As you can see, normally I do Yu-Gi-Oh content. However, I've been playing a lot of Digimon recently with my friends and been having a great time. So I'm going to try to reintroduce Digimon into the channel. It's not to say Yu-Gi-Oh's gone, but this is going to be more about different card games, more so Digimon right now because this is what we play the most. You might see some Battle Spirit Saga in here. You might see some Shadowverse Evolve when it comes out, but this channel is no longer going to be restricted to just Yu-Gi-Oh. Now, with that in mind, let's get into the deck profile. So today I'm going to be showing you a Beelzemon deck. Now, Beelzemon is super popular right now in the BT12 format because of how fast it can go, how quickly you can set up your board, and it just pops off. It's a 0 to 60 deck, so to speak. Now, there are several different builds to it. The core itself seems to be conceptual of just milling, right? But this deck, honestly speaking, is more about comfort and what kind of suits what you're trying to accomplish with the deck. Obviously, you want to hit like that 20 mark and then go into your X antibody plays and just like blow your opponent up. But there's a lot of personal touches to these decks. So if you decide to give the deck a try, that's great. The most I will tell you to do is to use this deck as like a skeleton and mold it into something that fits more your playstyle. Because remember, if you're uncomfortable playing a deck, then it's not going to work as intended, right? So I'm gonna get to it first. The Digitama. It's gonna be for Yaman. I was a huge fan of Pagumon at first, but sometimes waiting for the deletion tends to be a bit of a burden. So I wound up taking that out in favor of Yaman. With Yaman, um, we're able to build up a soft stack, even if it's just a Wizardmon or Wizardmon X, just start like milling right off rip. So going first with this deck doesn't feel so bad anymore because normally if you go first, you go to turn 3 and then raise the Pagumon and the Pagumon with like hopefully the BT2 Impmon, swing the mill 5. With this now I don't feel so bad about building like a small stack in the back, and then when I go, on my second turn, I can raise it and extend it depending on how much memory my opponent left me and just start milling like crazy. So Yaman is my Digitama choice. To the deck now. Again, I'm not telling you have to play it this way. This is just what works for me. This is what's comfortable. Uh, One BT6 Impmon. I use this for recursion purposes early in the game. Sometimes you might mill something you need for later. And being able to grab back, any Beelzemon is kind of important for the most part. So being able to play this and then grab back like Blast Mode, for example, is an option. You don't have to play this. You could just play 4 of the advanced starter deck Impmon if you don't want to play this. One copy of the BT2 Impmon. Like I said before, waiting for deletion sometimes doesn't feel right, especially when, for whatever reason, when I played this at 4, like most of the time I was lucky if my opponent would delete it so early. Um, there's been times where I've swung like on successive turns and it not get deleted. So I'm putting it to 1 for the purpose of like if it gets rezzed early with the EX2 Beelzemon's mill skill, um, it's just another card for me to rush down with. It not having an inheritable also kind of suffers. You could realistically play this at 2 if you were more comfortable with that. Uh, 3 of the advanced starter deck Entmons. So I was playing this at 4, but the reality is until you hit the 20 cards in your discard pile, um, he's pretty useless. And then his inheritable isn't amazing because it only deletes level 3 Digimon. Um, that's to say it doesn't work, but it's not something that is super effective in most scenarios. Like in certain cross heart matchups, it might be nice, or if your opponent's kind of like stuck, so they're having to go wide, it's nice. But realistically, you just want him for his 20 cards in trash effect, where he can swing and then warp into Beelzemon. He can be brought back to your hand with Rivals Barrage, which is why I dropped him down to 3. But I can completely understand the argument of playing him at 4. 4 EX2 Impmons. This is probably the only Impmon I will tell you that you should be playing at 4 until Bandai inevitably restricts this card. When he's milled by an effect that's not his own effect, you know, the card with the same number, um, you mill 3 cards, right? And is inheritable when you have the Beelzemon in your name, plus 2,000 DP, no, plus 3,000 DP. Lets you hit over a lot of like big numbers from the security zone, just overall. And then even in his on play, being able to search an I Am Echo as well as a Beelzemon card is broken, right? So this card, no matter where it is on your board, whether it's being played, whether it's an inheritable or whether it's being crashed by another card effect, is just strong. It just offers so much. So I can completely see the argument for this card being restricted to 1. You know, the longer it's off the list, the better for me. Because I do enjoy playing this deck, but I would understand them if they completely just put that card to 1. And then to round off my rookies, for Antmon X Antibody. Now, I know people play this as a 2 of, some 3, some don't even play it. I love the inheritable being able to just swing and trash the top 2. His on play when digivolving effect to grab back a Demon Lord or Wizard from the trash is nice too, because it lets you again grab some cards that might have been milled off early. So overall, I just felt like this card was worth playing as 4. And again, like even if he becomes my level 3 over just my level 2 Digitama, his inheritable of just being able to trash 2 with no restriction is really good. Now to the level 4 Digimon. I am playing for Witchmon. So the on Digivolution Trash 3 effect is great, and then just boosting your Wizard or Demon Lord while it's in inheritable is good too. 5,000 DP, so it has a pretty okay attack, and it evolves for 2. With I Am Maiko from the Advanced Starter deck, it's an evolution of 1 for free if you get it on board. So just the milling 3 early on is really good, and then the cheap evolution cost, like most of the time, means that you can raise your stack, evolve, and then still swing over, unless your opponent decided to choke you like super early. For Wizardmon, this card is a great extender when it's milled, and obviously, you do a lot of that in this deck. The bonus too is when it's in your inheritable stack. When you swing, you can take a purple card and stack it, so it lets you reuse certain abilities or kind of declutter your hand, so to speak. And then finishing off my level 4s is 2 Wizardmon X Antibody. I've thought about playing this at 3, dropping which one to 2, but for now I think 2 works just fine. With 2 in play, with 2 in the deck, it lets me get a free evolution off every now and then, as well as giving me the inheritable of, again, swinging in the trash too. Going on to level 5s now, I do play 3 Ball Mines. I'm still kind of 50-50 on this card. What I do like about this card is the power boost it gives in the inheritable, but it also, on Digivolution, trashes 3. Then once you have 10, assuming you hit 10 before or after his effect applied, and by what I mean by that is if you have 7 and you mill 3, you hit 10. Not like you mill at 6, you hit 9, and then you mill again. Like, it doesn't work like that. Like when you're applying this effect, there has to be at least 10 cards in your trash. And the stack gets the effect of, if they're deleted, you can bring back a Beelzemon from the trash. Why that's important is if you evolve into Beelzemon and it dies, you can bring back Beelzemon, or if he gets de-digivolved and then the level 4 dies, you still get the Beelzemon back. So as long as 10 is in the drop and you have a Beelzemon there, when you finish resolving his effect, you're good. And then 2 Ballmon X Antibody. So this is another card I'm kind of iffy on. I do definitely want to play at least 1. I'm testing it at 2. I do again like the extra power boost you get, and then you pair it with the other Ballmon, and it's plus 4,000 with just those 2. He has the ability of when you Digivolve, you can grab an X Antibody from your trash, which is great if it gets milled. I do play a single copy. And then when he Digivolves, you can trash 3 if you have Ballmon or X Antibody in the stack. Instead, you delete a level 4 or lower. So being able to delete for essentially free at times is really good. So that's why I wound up, that was my justification of playing him at 2. I do want to play the, I believe it's BT10 Ballmon, but for right now it doesn't feel necessary. At least, you know, the way I'm playing the deck. To my level 6s, I'm playing 3 Beelzemon from EX2. This is one of the cards that you kind of, you know, fit to what you like, right? I know a lot of decks play this at 2. I like playing it at 3 because, you know, being able to kind of start a pseudo stack off because of his when trashed effect is really good. Free recursion is always nice, and you want to see it get milled, right? Like sometimes I feel like if you play this at 2, you don't see it enough. So I just feel like 3 is the right number. 4 feels like too much, but 3 for me feels perfect. And it has a great sense of board control too with its when digivolving and attacking skill. Next level 2, 2 Beelzemon from the starter deck. Having Sec 2, being able to recurve some of your memory, especially like getting it back on Digivolution is really important. Well, just for trashing you get that effect, but you know, um, just having the turn extension there is really good. And then when he gets security attack +1, if you Digivol over him with Beelzemon X or Blast Mode, you keep the security 1 for the turn, so it's pretty nice. 2 Beelzemon X antibody. I considered playing this at 3, but I feel like 2 is doing the job for me. A great way to end the game, especially if you've been aggressive early on. Once you hit 20 cards, this card can essentially check for game most of the time because if all things considered, you should have been kind of aggressive early on. And on the turn you swing for this, you can, if you have X antibody and Soul, swing with the Beelzemon, X antibody Evo, trash the 2, and then he can swing for game. That won't always be the case, but it's kind of ideal for it to wind up like that. And then the last Digimon I play is 1 copy of Blast Mode. I was playing this at 2, and then I kept drawing it and drawing it and drawing it and drawing it. So I dropped it to 1. I do have a couple of ways of bringing it back. One being the Impmon that you saw in there. The other being I Am Maiko and then Rivals Barrage. So I just felt like at 1, this is like enough. And then it's a really good game ender, right? If you don't wind up winning with this and you still have like at least like 2 memory left, you can Digivolve into this and then untap them and then just swing for game. So you need 20 cards in your trash for him to be able to gain the 3 memory back with his Digivolution effect, but overall he's just a really good game ender. Next, Tamers. I am playing 3 of the starter deck I Am Maikos. The search is nice, and then never gaining memory back for Digivolving is great, as well as being able to stack your deck is great. And then I'm playing the 1 I Am Maiko. This is so I can play around getting memory locked. And it lets me play Blast Mode for my trash. Like a lot of people don't even play this anymore, but I do like this as one of in the deck. And then option cards. So again, this is to flavor. If something isn't working for you, feel free to change it. I am playing 4 Rivals Barrage. Recursion in this deck is insane, and this like no card does it in this deck better than this. Its security effect is great. And then its delay effect for being trashed and then being able to just send it to grab a Tamer or a Digimon back, like that's insane too. I am playing 4 Death Slingers because when it's trashed, you do get to gain a memory back, and then being able to pop a card for 4 is really, really good, especially being that with 20 cards in the trash, it can hit a level 6, which is insane to me, right? So this is another card that I suspect being restricted at some point in the future, maybe even Rivals Barrage. Like, there's a lot of cards in this deck that can be restricted, and justifiably so, because this deck is kind of insane. And then the last 2 cards I play, I do play 1/7 Full Cluster and 1 X Antibody. I see some people play 2 of this. I see some people play 2 of this. 1 of this. Like, again, it's to flavor. This just gives me options of going into Beelzemon when I attack. And this is just more board clear. The security effect is great. The trash effect of being able to go into Beelzemon and then bottom decking this to kill something on the field is broken too. One other interaction I do want to mention though, involving the X Antibody. X Antibody with this Impmon. So the interaction with this is kind of interesting because provided you have the 20 cards in your trash, you can swing for this. Activate the effect to evolve, also activate X Antibody. Resolve it with Impmon first to grab back the Beelzemon. So let's say you have this one come out and Digivolve. Now, he has a Wind Digivolving effect, so you would apply this effect before applying this effect. Trash your 4, and then you can Digivolve into X Antibody Beelzemon if you have it in your hand. Because this is still pending, and you'd be able to get the security attack +1, get the memory back, trash the 4, and then the the Beelzemon X antibody will be able to trash for how much you have in the trash, and then do a bunch of damage. It's not gonna happen a lot, but that play is there, and it does sit in the back of like players' minds. Um, so that's just something like fun to run with. So that's the deck. Hopefully this video was nice enough to where it kept you interested, but not long enough to where it kept you bored. I want to thank you guys for watching again. I'm gonna have some other people on the channel for once, so that's a great thing. I will be posting up more decks soon. So if you have any suggestions, any comments, just leave everything below. Thank you again for watching.